I'm just doing this out of my laptop, and I don't have a lot of real estate here, and I need to have, okay, comments box there, and I guess if I can move that out of the way. I know, this is riveting. Isn't this an amazing live stream? I'm trying to figure out how to organize my desktop, but it is what it is. I promise to keep things authentic and a little bit rough. Libby, good morning. Beth, good morning. You're both awesome. Those are people on local. Ryan C7, what's up, brother? Okay, so that means we're live on all the mainstreams, and I hope we're good. Will sends an exclamation mark. Well, exclamation mark back to you, brother. Let me just turn on. Oh, the last thing I want to do, just because this is kind of a rare occasion, and I don't have all my equipment here. It's kind of a redundant backup. I'm going to set the Instagram on the Honking For Freedom Instagram, so everybody can participate there. And I think we're good. So we got a phone and a computer and 3 streams going on, and my screen is all over the place. So I have to apologize if I miss some comments, but I think I got it organized. Morning from Pennsylvania, trucking back north. I was just in Pennsylvania, a day and a half ago, going up Highway 81, going through Scranton. Where are you in Pennsylvania, Will? David, good morning. Brad, good morning. And everybody coming on Instagram, good morning as well. And welcome to the clown show. That is Ottawa. Have you guys been watching? Have you been watching the testimonies? It's really quite fascinating. The situation that the government has found itself in. Hey, Stacia. And is that how you pronounce your name? Stacia or Stasia? Anyways, thank you for... Stacia's been following for quite a while. And I apologize for the pronunciation. And I just woke up and I got stuff in my eye. I took a shower. And I still feel gross. So, it is what it is. Welcome to Ottawa. I am not going to be, for people who are asking, I'm not testifying today. They were switching my day back and forth a couple of times from the 2nd to the 3rd, the 2nd to the 3rd. So as of now, unless it changes, I'm going to be testifying tomorrow. See, I just got a message from somebody who's overseas. Good luck with the testimony today. And no, it's not till tomorrow, so I will let her know. I hope you all had an amazing day last night. I hope you enjoyed the testimony. Let me know what your thoughts are, and you can put them in the comments because I'm reading them. Ryan C7, there's $100 in it for you if you work in at least one meow in your testimony. That's quite funny. I mean, I'm gonna be with my lawyer up there, and I'm trying to decide if I should have my lawyer with all the other lawyers down in front, or if I should have my lawyer beside me. I don't know. I'm gonna work that out today, and that will be, I'm sure, fascinating once people see who my lawyer is. I'm sure some people will be, I hope, pleasantly surprised. And that this person is a very, very skilled lawyer, more so than I even imagined. And I thought he would be incredible knowing his background outside of law. So we'll talk about that a little bit. So last night, got into Ottawa, just to give you a little bit of what's going on here, how things are working, at least from my perspective. So you guys can kind of actively participate, I guess you'd say. Susan says, Bridget was amazing. And, you know, it's really not easy to go through what any of them are going through. And, you know, anybody, I think when you're in that situation, just like anytime you get on camera, you're doing a news interview, whatever, it's a very different perspective when you're actually the one who is, in the sights, I guess you'd say. So it's not an easy thing if you don't have much experience with it, right? Even with experience sometimes. Yesterday was insane. Bridget, our lawyer, was a blank show. Jealousy was evident. Yeah, like I'm not going to pass judgment on anybody, any of their perspectives, what they do, but I think now you understand what I was dealing with in Ottawa. Believe me, because it gets a lot worse, I'm sure. You're getting a sense of what it was like trying to herd the cats, and that's not a condemnation of anybody who spoke yesterday, by the way, but it's just, it is what it is, and that's how it was working, and I'm sure it's going to get even more interesting as time goes on. So, yesterday arrived and there was a Bitcoin meetup. I know you guys aren't into Bitcoin. I mentioned it a couple of times the past few days. Bitcoin's a separation of money and state. So if you don't want the government or Trudeau to have access to your money to dictate what your money is, well, that's what Bitcoin solves. That's the whole point. But anyways, a lot of them were big supporters, and it was amazing. You know what's weird? We talked about not only kind of the Bitcoin's role in it and what happened and how supportive they were of the Freedom Convoy itself and everything going on. But we were sitting down and I was, basically doing a thank you and all that sort of stuff. And then they started to tell me their story and their perspective. And what I never realized, never even thought of, they all pretty much universally agreed. They said, you don't understand. Like, we were all locked down. Like, everybody was locked down at that point because Ontario went into another hard lockdown and masks and all that sort of stuff. That's why one of the lawyers asked Bridget, oh, you weren't wearing a mask. Oh, yeah, that was the whole point of the protest. But they said to me, like, it became the party for them in Ottawa. Like, the time to finally go out and meet new people and hang out and meet their families and kids. And it just became the social life for all of Ottawa, which is normally a dead town because it's all bureaucrats, right? But they said it was amazing, and they met so many new people. And when the trucks were gone, they said to me, it was really depressing. One of them said it was depressing for a couple of weeks. Like, there was a void in my life because I finally had something to go out there. And they all echoed the same sentiment. And they're like, yeah, like, it was really sad. And one of them said, I still go up there from time to time just to remember what it was like to have everybody there descending on Ottawa and us all getting together and speaking to each other and getting to know all these wonderful, beautiful people and, being completely without masks and out restrictions and pure freedom. And they said, yeah, it was all of them. It was really sad for them afterwards. And they had difficulty. One of them said, I had difficulty adjusting to the truckers not being there. So just something I never even occurred to me. It is what it is. So there's lots of love from people in Ottawa, despite what the fake news media and the government wants to tell you. Don't have to tell you not to trust the government, but that was. It was lovely. It was really wonderful to hear that we had that sort of impact. And I felt bad. I'm sorry we left. Like, we didn't really have a choice. And I stuck around as much as I could, and I explained where I was staying in Ottawa in a neighborhood called Orleans until the middle of March. So it is what it is. So a couple comments on locals first. So I was just calling Ottawa a clown show this morning. Well, yeah, it is. Aunt Beth, I'm just on a laptop here. Like, there's no microphone plugged in or anything like that. So that's got to be the locals codex, audio codex or something like that. I'm not sure. But thanks. I don't know what's causing it. It also could be just maybe I'm in hotel Wi-Fi, and hotel Wi-Fi always sucks. Aunt Beth, I felt a void and depression in the days, weeks after the convoy. I felt a letdown when it ended. My user far away from Ottawa. So why don't you contact the commission and let them know. Go to their website. Anybody who supported us. There's not enough people. I know there's thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people, if not more, that supported us. You need to know. You need to tell the commission. Like, everybody last night, they're like, yeah, I don't even trust the government. I don't bother. And the other thing they say, well, Ottawa's a small town. Everybody knows each other. And if you do and say the wrong thing politically, that can affect your career prospects. And I'm like, really? So we've become a third world banana dictatorship where people are just afraid to speak because they're going to miss career opportunities. Like it's really quite gross, to be honest. But that's the way it is here. Okay, so comments here, and well, okay, so we're going to get into the testimony in a second. But my only really comment is, well, I'll go to what K9 says here. This is about Bridget. So her lawyer's a paralegal. Hey, at least she had somebody, right? At least she had somebody, as opposed to nothing. They both seem to have zero respect for the judge. I think, I mean, I can understand the skepticism, not specifically with this justice, but in general. You know, people are just primed to be concerned when people have political affiliations, because so many things are so politicized. I thought the judge handled it professionally and well. So I don't know, and I've been, you know, initially I was maybe mildly concerned, but I know he was appointed by Paul Martin to the bench, so I don't know that he's going to stake his legacy, which is this commission named after him. I think he has some serious wisdom, and I don't think he's going to sacrifice his legacy for party politics. He's well beyond that at that level, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Susan, I was vibrating when she was telling her story. That's Bridget. The things that truckers had to go through during the pandemic. Yeah, and you know, from my perspective, this is why I started doing cross-border, is just because to get away. So we had freedoms, but yeah, there are a lot of annoying restrictions that happened throughout, and it is what it is, but she got to tell the story. So, and I think that's all. Anybody who's getting out there, they just want to tell their story. And again, it's not easy. It doesn't matter who you are, experience or not experience. Will says, can independent coins survive with the future designs on CBDCs? I don't know. Like, I'm of the mind, I don't think we'll ever see CBDCs, especially in the United States, a country that has yet to abandon the penny because of tradition. I don't think I think that's just a fantasy of CBDCs. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see it ever happening because it's just way too draconian. I like Bitcoin, but I'm more into the precious metal space. Yeah, great. Sure. They both have some advantages. They're both a way to kind of... The only thing is, you know, remember in the U.S. in the 30s when gold was confiscated, right? If you have a 24-word phrase combination in your head, unless they break into your head somehow, they're not going to be able to confiscate that. Will says, seems the Heisenberg principle was used in depth between the feds, dipping stories, Aaron Burns, ASI sentiment scoring, and testing theories in media. They keep peddling and manipulating, reacting. Yeah, it's behavioral economics is what we're seeing. That and massive persuasion tactics. I've spoken about it on my stream before. I think that's where the Trump derangement syndrome comes from. I think it comes from Robert Cialdini, who I'm a big fan of, but he joined the Hillary campaign, and I think it's his tactics that just caused the Trump derangement syndrome. I don't think it was intentional, and I think it just got ahead of them. But we should do a thing on just U.S. politics coming up to the midterms, just because I'm in touch with a lot of people in Florida who work in political spheres right now, so it's pretty amazing. I think Lisa, I think the judge has done an amazing job so far. He has been fair but firm. I would agree with that. I would agree. So I think the judge is well beyond party politics. So it is what it is. So anyways, but what K9 is referring to is the friction that is clearly evident in some of the testimony we saw yesterday. And yeah, man, that was every day of my life. That was like every day, every hour, constantly. And it's not, I'm not pointing a finger at Bridget. Everybody, there was no shortage of egos in Ottawa, and that's why I essentially just and I suggested this to Tamara because she's the one who brought me in or reached out to me. I suggested she build a moat around her, or else you wouldn't be productive. That's what I did, just to ensure that I could get maximum output in terms of interviews and messaging to truckers and messaging to supporters. So for me, it was constant work every day. And because if not, it was what Tamara fell into. She was bombarded with 300 requests every 5 minutes, and then people saying, well, why didn't you deal with this? So, and maybe just because I have experience managing a large staff, I have in the past, and organizational structures and systems and all that sort of stuff. And I mentioned that when I first got there, the first day when we were in the command center, I said to a couple people, said to Tamara, said to a few others, I'm like, you got to start systematizing your processes right now, right now, because you have a whole list of 1,000 problems on the board, and you don't have a system and a process to deal with them and categorize them into the different types of queries and priority 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and that sort of stuff. And there was a team of people who are ex-military who were there, ex-military, police, whatever, who understand this sort of thing. So it took them about a week or so to get everything sorted out, and I kind of started that from the beginning. And Tamara's role, she wanted to be more of a face-to-face person. At least that's my understanding. That's how I saw her by her behavior. And that she's really strong with, which is connecting with people. So, all right. So we all kind of try to do our things, except for, lots of people were stepping on each other's toes because egos get in the way. And I think you're going to see some of that today and tomorrow, probably. You're going to see a lot of that. And I will try my best to stay away from that as best I can. And I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of that, but it is what it is. And the truth has got to get out there. So now you have a sense, and you'll have a sense later on today. We'll talk about this maybe in the next stream. I'm going to try to do a stream tomorrow morning. I don't know if I can, but it would have to be extra early. It would probably have to be around 8 o'clock if I do it, maybe even 7:30. If you think I should, before I head over to wherever it is, what's the library, the museum, or whatever it is, wherever they're holding it, if you think I should do a stream before then I will do it. Just let me know in the comments. So, can I call you Ruby? Ruby, good morning to you. Ruby has joined on locals, but it's KVG Ruby. Anyways, thank you for coming here. I'm going to be doing some, I was thinking to do some late night, Kim. I have everything really small because I have to fit everything into a small little screen right now. So I apologize. I'm thinking maybe to do something on locals tonight, or tomorrow night, or something, just on locals for the first time, not on the mainstream. So I'll let you know. That's honkingforfreedom.locals.com. Also, I released a Substack yesterday. So if you're not subscribed to the Substack, there are tickets available for the book launch on Monday, and we really haven't started pushing them yet, but we still have, 25 tickets left, something like that. So if you go to my Substack and you look at the most recent Substack, there is a link in there to go to get tickets for the book launch event on Monday. Now, the book launch event is just going to be, it's in Toronto. And don't worry if you're in Western Canada. I don't think Toronto's the center of the universe. We're working on something out west as well. So, but if you go to the Substack, the name of the Substack that I released yesterday is the Freedom Convoy Media Strategy, which is a little bit of insight into what I was thinking and what I was doing, trying to get as much media attention around the Freedom Convoy when it was occurring. And there's a link in there if you want to come to the Toronto event. I would love you to. It's not going to be a boring, typical event. It's going to be fun. We're going to do kind of a fireside chat, myself and somebody else, and so who you'll see and as well as there's comedian Ben Bankus, who is going to be there and doing a set and hanging out with us. And the rest is just going to be hanging out, drinking, talking, whatever questions you have for myself, or just, you know, taking pictures together, all that sort of stuff. Like just a fun sort of party atmosphere. And it's going to be held at a comedy club. So it's going to be lots of fun. It'll be quite funny. So, okay, questions. Okay, so I think he will justify something about not being able to cooperate with each other and too many different leaders to work together and could not empty the streets without the federal emergency threats and freezing bank accounts. Yeah, I guess there's a lot more that's being omitted, by the way, and I'll add a little bit more context that will clarify some of that stuff in my testimony. But we'll see what happens. K9, 100% BJ friction is a good word for it, but 2 women in the kitchen is a firehouse. Come on. K9, you're awesome, and I like fiery personalities. And maybe just because I spent so much time in Latin America, I like people with passion, so I have no problem. Dina, Bridget was amazing. K9, did Bridget throw Keith Wilson under the bus? I don't know. You know what? Because I was driving from, I was listening to it in the car, driving to Ottawa, and I kept losing signal. You know, certain areas where the signal's absolutely horrible. So might have been. I didn't, there was a good, like, 20, maybe 45 minutes I missed of it, so I'm not sure. Karen says Karen says about my streaming tomorrow. No need rest up. Megan says, yes, stream tomorrow. In other words, nobody knows, yes or no. So you know what I'll do? Firstly, thank you. I love you both, because both of those comments are supportive and caring of me, and so I really appreciate that. I'll figure something out. I would like to do something just to kind of get in the groove anyways before I go to the commission, but maybe I'll do something. I'll figure it out. If I do, I'll just post a link and you'll see it, and we'll go. We'll just prep and recap. That's what I'm going to be doing all day today, is preparations and meetings and sitting down with my lawyer. Stream after the commission to fill in anything and everything. That's a good idea. Maybe that I should just do on locals. Just do an after commission stream in the afternoon, or maybe in the evening, and just to go. Well, I'm going to be speaking at an event in the evening. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Maybe before the event. Lisa says, I think Bridget gave more insight on who sabotaged the Freedom Convoy. She definitely touched on that, at least from what I heard. And Karen by the Rideau, I love this. Karen says no, and then immediate laughter says yes. Karen, you're awesome. That is epic. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. You put a smile on my face, that's for sure. Okay, so Aunt Beth says, read your Substack. The promo video for your book is awesome. Well, thank you. You and your team did a fabulous job. Yeah, you know, Mike did put together most of the promo video, did the first draft, and then I looked at it and I said, let's reverse the order. And I wanted it to be a certain way. And then he's an amazing videographer, but he's not a musician. He says he's completely tone deaf. So I had to spend some time finding the right feel and vibe of music that I wanted for that video. But thank you, I guess. That video will be up on sometime soon on honkingforfreedom.com, which is where you can pre-order the book. And all the links for all my social media and Substack and all that stuff are on honkingforfreedom.com. And when the book is available, you'll already notice, and I hope those of you who hate Amazon appreciate this. We put a lot of effort into having the book available on multiple platforms. So it's going to be on Amazon, Kobo, Etsy, and ebook it. So you're going to have options. If you don't like Amazon, then don't worry. There's going to be other places for you to go. And I figured that would try to make you all happy. And I love this. Karen, no. Karen, yes. Karen laughing her ass off. Thank you, Karen. You guys are the best. And I really appreciate all the love and support. Like, you're truly amazing. It makes it so much easier to come here and do this sort of stuff, knowing that there's really good people out there that, we have each other's backs, we support each other. It's just, it's amazing. So that's basically what I want to say this morning. I got a couple of comments here. Let me see. Yeah, so I mentioned before. Yeah, so a couple of comments, questions that were sent my way. I mentioned before that at the get together last night that I didn't realize that people in Ottawa felt a void when the convoy was gone. Like started to become habitual. One of them said I would get up, I'd get coffee, and I'd go down to the convoy and I'd hang out with people for a couple of hours, and then go back home, and I would work through the day. In the middle of the day or the end of the day, I'd finish work for the day and I'd go down the convoy, and go hang out with people. Like that's I don't know, it's amazing. It's so good. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that is communicated in the hearing. Lori says, looking forward to hearing you testify tomorrow. Thank you very much. Just noticed Chris Deering is a witness, young veteran that we saw beaten and taken out of town and dropped. Yeah, there's because that's one of the contentious issues that the police were trying to pretend didn't happen. So I'm glad to hear that he's going to be testifying. So, first comment, the Freedom Convoy was a spiritual gift to the world at the right time. Bless Tamara, BJ, and the organizers, and bless all the truckers and farmers. Yes, and very important. It wasn't just truckers. It was truckers, farmers, and people, fishermen in the fisheries industry, in the Maritimes. They were all over this. Like, there was, and there was, of course, no media coverage, right? Like, why would you want that? Why would you tell people what's going on? Then the next comment I got, right, people ask me, where do I get the comments? It's just kind of like, if you comment on the YouTube channel after the stream is done, I get alerts, and it's random. If I just happen to be around and I happen to be doing notes and all that sort of stuff, I just grab it and I'll throw it in the notes. So don't be shy about posting comments to my channel at any time on any video, because I also do go back when I get alerts from anything. A couple of these from one of these from an alert from a video way back. So anyways, the next one was, thank you, BJ, for telling the truth and standing up for everyone's freedom. Well, standing up for our freedoms. It's all of us, right? Injustice somewhere is injustice everywhere, and the Freedom Convoy was not just about protecting Canadians. Canadians' freedom, but also about protecting everyone's freedom around the world. And we see that now with Brazil, what's going on, right? Bitcoin is about helping us take back our freedom and protect our true wealth, which is inherently in everyone. And that's 100% true. And again, I'm not going to make this the Bitcoin channel. You can join me in the Bitcoin spaces to talk to me about Bitcoin, but it is the separation of money and state. And I think that's an important value and an important change we need in our society over the long term. Anyways, so that's it for today. I got to go and have a meeting and start planning. We'll continue planning and prepping for tomorrow and all that sort of stuff. HonkingForFreedom.com. Go to my Substack to get tickets to the Toronto event, or share it with people who are in Toronto if you think they would like to attend. BJdichter.substack.com. And to pre-order a copy of the book for the pre-sales of the digital is what's it called? HonkingForFreedom.com. I can't believe I forgot that. And then on locals, maybe I'll look at doing an after testimony session tomorrow evening or something like that, where you can go into detail with me, specific questions about things that I said in testimony, which I will probably have forgotten, and you'll have to remind me. But we can do a little chat there. So honkingforfreedom.locals.com. And I'm thinking about this. I'm actually liking this idea, because I can't stream on locals the same way I do on the main streams, as I've learned, because that's some sort of limitation. So it's got to be a little bit more exclusive content. So that's probably something we can do. Lisa says, I was ready to leave Canada before the convoy. I was in the process of selling my belongings and was asking my family in Florida to sponsor myself and my 2 kids. That's how desperate I was. And that's going to be, you're getting a star for that. And I'm going to put that comment. Oh, I can't even, I'll figure it out after. I may throw that comment into my testimony notes for tomorrow, because that's important. And you're not the first person to tell me that. Christina, thank you for everything. No, thank you for being here. It's because are here, that stuff happens, that we're able to continue. And I want to thank you all. And yeah, I got to run, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay? Have a great day. I love you all, and we'll talk to you.